Hey guys, this is Bubba, also known as Okie Tools, and I'm going to do a video on my Kobalt 30-gallon air compressor. Had it for a few months now and used it a number of times, and just kind of wanted to do a video about it, maybe do an oil change on it because it's about time to do it, and my thoughts on it, and then show it in action. So here's the drain plug right here. And I got a little plastic cup to catch it, and then I got a shop rag right here underneath. It's not ideal, as anybody who's tried to research these has found out from the reviews on people that have had them. It's not an ideal location. It'd be a little bit nicer to have it out, but I mean, at least you can get to it. And it is a 12 millimeter, and you just go ahead and loosen it up, and out it comes. And this right here is the breather. You take it off. I'll go ahead and take it off, but you take it off, and that's the fill hole as well to put more oil in. So I'll go ahead and take that off and set it aside, and go ahead and put my cup in place, and go ahead and loosen it up and start draining it. And you're supposed to, one thing I didn't say is you're supposed to run it. It looks really dirty. Be real honest with you. You're supposed to run it up, turn it on and run it up before you change it. That way it warms the oil up and it comes out easier. And then you unplug it, turn it off, unplug it, and it says you're supposed to tag it, you know, industry standards and whatnot. So you don't really have to worry about that at home. But you just go ahead and take that plug out and start draining it. And I did it. Like I said, I've had it for a couple months now. The manual says you drain it, you run it after you break in, and you drain it after your first 50 hours of use. I haven't used it nearly that much, so I've just been keeping my eye on the sight window, and decided to go ahead and give it a drain because it was starting to look kind of dirty. So that's where I'm at now, and that's why I'm doing it. And I'm glad I did, because it looks very dirty. It was very clear looking through the sight picture when I first got it, and over time it has gotten quite a bit dirtier, and it is looking very dirty right now. So I think that's most of it. It may be continuing to drain a little, but I got the rag there, so go ahead and there. It looks like I'm going to have to clean off the side of it a little. So let me go ahead and show you this. It's really dirty, and I don't really see any metal flakes in there. Sometimes after you first get them, I take that back now. I do see, you see some in the white. If I can get it to focus, I might not be able to, but right there on that white there is a little bit of metal specks. And so that's, well, after you do break-in and everything, it usually is like that. Has some specks in there and stuff just from everything seating. So that's why they recommend you change it after 50 hours. So I'll go ahead and finish that and get it all cleaned up, and then we'll come back to put oil in it. Okay, I'm back. I tipped it over and got as much out as I could. Just tipped it a little and finished it off and cleaned it up, and put the plug back in, and put a funnel in up here so in the filler hole, so we can start filling it up. And this is our sight window, and it needs to be as close as it can be to the top of that red circle. And this is the stuff that they recommend you use. It is Kobalt synthetic blend air compressor oil, and there's your part number. I already got the cap off to start filling it. This is 16 ounces. It says it takes 8.5 ounces total. So go ahead and start filling it up. This should be enough, hopefully. And I'm going to get down here so I can see, and watch how close it gets to that top of that circle. It's starting to fill up pretty good. Just a little bit more. I'd say that's perfect. So I don't know if you can see it real well. try to go freehand here. Sorry if it's a bit shaky. But you can see there that it is very close, if not right on the top of that circle, and that it is very clean, much cleaner oil than it was. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some tools here and kind of run it down so that it ends up coming on to get that new oil all dispersed in there and everything, and show you how it performs with the tools. So okay, I got it hooked back up and turned back on, and got my air filter on there and everything, my hose hooked up, and I have my Harbor Fright Central Pneumatic half-inch earthquake impact wrench. Love this thing. And I'm out here by my Honda, and I'm going to go ahead and loosen up 2 of these here lug nuts just to show that it does have the power to do that. They're not torqued real high, just 80 foot-pounds, like any standard 4-door car like that. But it still has no problem doing that. And then I have a Chrysler minivan. They're torqued to 95 foot-pounds. It has no problem with that. So just kind of showing the tools on the Kobalt 30 gallon, which is kind of what I got it for, which is to work on automotive stuff. And don't really see a lot of guys talking a lot about that. I know a lot of guys got it for that, but that's what I got it for. And just kind of show it in action. It's on reverse. So no problem doing that. Go ahead and it's got 3 settings on this particular model. It's got a low, medium, and a high. So go ahead and start these back on here. And using this low setting, make sure they don't get over torqued, and I can come back with my torque wrench later and torque them back up to the right spec. So there you get to kind of see it in action. Has no problem with those lug nuts and other jobs I put it through with the air ratchet and stuff like that. Things that use lots of air, like die grinding or painting or something like that, I don't know if it'd be good for that, but it's great for this. Plenty of power. So I don't know if you can hear me, but it just kicked on, and it's was about 120 psi, and there it goes. It just shut off. So about 120 psi is when it kick, or 125 psi is when it kicks on. A little bit below that, maybe 120 psi, and then it pressurizes itself back up to its operating pressure for when it shuts off. And I don't know if you could hear me real well, but to me it's not that loud. I used to have another one, another Campbell Husfield, and it was an oilless, and it was loud as hell, and I used to have to wear earplugs and stuff around it, or it'd give me a headache. This one, I stand right next to it, even do some stuff to it, work on it. No headache, and no earplugs necessary. I don't know how that sounded on the the video, but it's no big deal to me. And I got the cup here I want to show to you. I don't know how well you can see it in there, but there are definitely like little flakes, maybe a little metal, a little bit of some other things, maybe plastic or rubber pieces from whatever they got in there. And definitely good to change it, even if you don't make it to 50 hours like I did. Definitely good to change it. I think the manual after that says like every 3 months or something like that. I might not do it that often. Like I said, I'm not using it all the time, but definitely, if you're gonna get something like this, definitely maintain it. So I may do it on the recommended times after all. So that's my review and thoughts, and kind of showing it in action, doing an oil change on my Kobalt 30 gallon. And thanks for watching.